Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend, Thanksgiving. Hope you spend it with your friends and family. But today we're going to be kind of answering a lot of questions. My Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 video pretty much blew up over the weekend, and there's been a ton of questions. It seems like a lot of you guys are interested in playing the game, as well as to some might see very silly questions. There's just so many people asking them. I wanted to go over them. So we're going to go in a very natural order here. And first things first, will you get banned? No. Playing on a device like this or the Legion Lenovo Go, these are Windows devices. Call of Duty, Battle.net won't be able to tell the difference between this and, say, a computer like I have to my right over here. They're essentially the same thing. This is just a mid-range computer. So no, you will not get banned. I really can't think of any situation other than you violating the terms of service, such as profanity, stuff like that. You should just totally be fine. Nothing to worry about. And now, next, where can I download this? Now, that may seem silly. A lot of you guys may need to remember that some people have never even played on a console in 20 years, and they're just looking to get into this. Or they're coming from console. Console's very self-explanatory, so this is a bit different. So there's two paths you can take. You can either go Battle.net or Steam. I say I have it on. I've played Call of Duty games on both. Honestly, it is preference. If you like to track your hours and stuff a lot more, and you like to see when your friends on Steam are on and kind of invite through there, I'd say buy it on Steam. But if you were to buy it on Battle.net, you just go here to the launcher. Sometimes they'll have sales and stuff. You can check that out over there, whatever. Pretty self-explanatory. Go home, you can go to shop, you can find the game here, purchase it, buy now, see. Ooh, there you go, 15% off, Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. Then you go to your home, you can click on the game, press install. Once it's done, everything should be good to go. Next up, of course, Steam. You would go to your store over here, find it, search for it, go to your library, download it, and play. Now, this was a very big question that a lot of you guys have been asking. When you launch the game, you run into an error. The drivers are not up to date, something or other. And there's two places you can check for this. Now, the first place, wherever that went, it was the customer service. We'll look up Asus. My Asus. Sorry, I didn't know that off the top of my head. I'm going to actually pin that here. So you would go down here to customer support. I don't know, seems kind of weird to have it down there, to be honest. Go to live update, and you can see here, look at this. Mine needs to be updated, some sort of something or other, BIOS installer. But you can tell this is where, look at that, graphics drivers, all sorts of things that need to be updated through here. This is just a good thing to know that I had to learn through a pretty abstract video. I didn't think I'd find any information, but I did. They were very helpful. Wasn't relating to COD, but just how to update your BIOS and stuff. This is where you would do that. The My Asus should already be installed. That's what it was called. If it's not, you can probably download it off the web fairly easily. Now, the second option, if that doesn't work, you load into the game and you're still getting the same error. It will have a link. In that error, it will say, hey, whatever, this driver needs to be updated in order to play the game. You can close that, and sometimes it will still let you play. If it's not letting you play and you don't want to have to close it every time, there's a link that will appear in that box. Click that link. Scroll down until you see AMD chip driver, whatever it's called, something AMD. This is not Intel, and neither is the Legion Go. That is also the Z1 Extreme. So once you get to that point, just click the link, download it. No clue what it does. I'm not that guy, but that definitely does help, and you'll never run into it again. So I'll pull this up here, show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're wondering why I'm not touching these, I actually have this plugged into a keyboard and mouse using this little dock. Pretty handy, huh? It's a Steam Deck dock. I think it's been fantastic so far. I'm not necessarily sponsored or anything, but I've had a good time with it. Also, I just picked up the JSOX case. That's a horrible angle. I'll have to just make a whole video on that. It's been fantastic. Comes with this cool cover. Paid for it myself. Like an upstanding citizen that holds like little SD cards and stuff. This has been really cool. I've been having fun with it. But pardon the dust here as it kind of blows. The dust just lands on it. I know I'm OCD about it myself. But okay, fourth question. If you guys are still sticking around and want to learn a little more, The manual operating mode is what I would suggest you turn this to. If you saw my previous video, you'd see when I was in a game, we were getting a lot of errors in the top. It'd say GPU too hot, lots of stuff like that, especially after the beta. When I was playing, I'd get that a lot. I plugged this into a TV and it was telling me that. And I was like, man, what's going on? It's 30 watts. Some games don't really mind 30 watts, but others, it gets hot. Like hot, and you'll start seeing declines in FPS. I don't know if you can tell what that number is. That's 18 watts. You want to set the 18 across all three of the different things it's got there. And I can go over that in a whole another video. Some other people have already gone over that in big detail, but you just want to set it to 18. Now, graphic settings was another really big question that people had. They wanted to know how I was getting the performance I was getting. Display mode, full screen exclusive. Make sure that's on. Screen refresh rate. Make sure this is set to 120 and not 60. There's been a lot of people running into that. Also, make sure this is 1080p. You can try this out at 720. It's just going to be a little bit more blurry. And with the next setting I have in here, you'll see why it kind of just balances things out if you leave it at 1080p. All of this is kind of just up to you. Make sure VSync is off. And I think that's pretty much it for that screen. Come here, dynamic resolution on. This is the big part, guys. Upscaling, sharpening, set this to AMD FSR 1.0 if you're playing on this display. If you're going to be putting this on a TV or anything that has higher resolution and is bigger, set it to AMD FSR 2.1. AMD FSR 1 takes the image that you already have and just kind of replicates it a little more. Not too sure on the science on that, but does a really good job at it. AMD FSR 2.1 takes a lower resolution image and upscales it to a higher resolution one. In my case, I don't know if this is exactly what it means, but it works out this way. I'm playing at 1080p. I've got it plugged into a 4K display. Now, this looks nowhere near how a 4K display should look, right? Because, I mean, this is a very small device. We're not obviously going to be getting native 4K resolution, but the frame rate is better. I'm not necessarily saying the image quality is all that better than FSR 1.0 when plugged into a big display, but the FPS is better. So definitely pick and choose here what you guys want to do. Mess around with this, get a feel for it. That's just how I've played with it. Variable rate shading, have that on. Everything that you can have set to low or off, turn on, and trust me, it is not worth that tiny little bit of information, like tiny little bit more detail in the grass. For your device being hotter, for your battery dying quicker. It's just not worth it. Oh, my bad here. I have this set to 100. This is personal preference, but I feel that as soon as you start turning it up too much, the fisheye effect really kicks in on this small display, and you're not going to have a good time. I would have this set to affected, and where is it? Wide. This is narrow, this is wide. You see a lot more of your gun. I definitely think that's worth it for me. And then you can make sure to turn off motion blur, weapon motion blur, film grain, turn that all the way down. Just the basics. Pretty much every game that you're playing on PC, that's just what you're going to want to shut off regardless. So let's load into a quick play here. Let's make sure that the voice chat is turned off. I just turned that off last game. I don't know why it keeps turning itself on. And now the juicy parts for everybody, the FPS. Hopefully you guys have stuck around. We've hopefully been answering a lot of the questions that you guys have been having. You can please feel free to reach out in the comment section below if you do have any questions regarding anything. I'll make sure to either if someone else hasn't got to you, I definitely will try to make sure to. And let's remember here, this is a video game. We're all just trying to have fun. Regardless of your opinions, please feel free to not be derogatory and negative to anybody in the comments who is having a good time, because some of us do like to have a good time. We're just in the loading screen here, so I'll back out so it doesn't get any frame drops. Rust. Love it or hate it, it is a classic. You guys like that squeaky chair? That's IKEA. After 3 years of my big butt sitting in it. Now, pardon the gameplay, it's probably not going to be the most artistic thing you've ever seen. I'm sitting behind a camera and leaning off to the left. My keyboard barely fits over there. Yeah, We're making it work. Bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try and shut up. I'm just gonna probably eat a lot of grenades. I'm mostly just scanning. I'm like so far back. Does anyone see that bullet, by the way? I mean, it's not really like a big deal. Here, I'll show you in a sec after I die. Watch me sprint. Look down there. See the bullet? It's like a bullet shell or something. I'd say if you're getting anywhere between 80 and 100 FPS on this thing especially, it might as well just be 120. They feel very, very similar, especially if you're playing on joysticks. I know some people are going to say at this point, with everything I've got plugged into it, might as well have a PC, but I'm just not that good on keyboard and on controller. So for this video, so you guys aren't just throwing up the whole time. I mean, I've got a 4070 Ti with my normal computer, so I definitely have a lot of fun on my PC. I just like to play this in bed. See if we can get something a little bit bigger. Zoom. I don't know if I have anything right off the bat. And that's what I'm kind of talking about with the field of view on this thing. You go too high and you're not going to be able to see anything. But see, if you've seen my first video, there was a ton of stuttering and all sorts of stuff, and everyone was like, dang, is that just the game? Oh my goodness. Is that just the game? No, it was the server. If that was during the beta, and things were very rough then. Lots of people were playing. Dude, throw that at me one more time. Because you will definitely be able to kill me if you do. If you stuck around this long and you're a regular viewer here on the channel, uploads are slowing down, and that's not on accident. So pretty much I have just been waiting for some bigger news, like a Switch 2, Switch Pro. I've found just through uploading for a few months here, if I'm just uploading, making content about things that aren't necessarily super important just because I feel like I have to put a video out, it doesn't really sit well with me and you guys. And it just, like, if I feel like, man, I have to do an upload every week if I want to get the channel to grow. Personally, I'm just doing this for fun. I don't really edit the videos all that much. I keep it raw for you guys, just so I'm not a crew. I don't have a studio. It's just my apartment. So, yeah, when things feel right and it seems like there needs to be someone talking about a certain subject or a video that I feel like I would do well with, yeah, I'll make it. But I can't keep up with doing multiple times a week upload. Uploading multiple times a week because it's just unsustainable. I'll start boring you guys out, and I'll remind you that I'm still here, and not in a good way. Every time Mr. Beast uploads, he's saving 1 million people, or, you know, building 1,000 wells. If I'm just making a video talking about some super niche game that a lot of you guys don't really care about, I just don't know if that'll... It's not even that the video won't do well. It's just I don't want to annoy you guys. So hopefully some of you guys can appreciate that. It's, I mean, I when I started the channel, believe it or not, if you go back, I was uploading 2 times in a single day, every day for about 2-3 weeks. It was fantastic. There was so much to talk about. It was right before the Ally came out. There's just a ton of speculation, rumors going around. It was just a really fun time to make videos. The Legion came out, and it was kind of a lateral move. It was not necessarily a major step forward for gaming as far as the handheld side of it goes, Yeah, they just slapped on a better resolution and refresh rate, but as far as the, other than cooling, which they achieved with just a bigger device, same chip. Like it's really not anything like, how should I say, like it's not some magical brand new invention. It's just science. Like it just makes sense. So until something comes out that kind of defies logic right now, like we had the Steam Deck, it was gigantic. This thing comes out, it's like half the weight. There were so many bonuses that this thing had going for it. Better refresh rate, the battery was whatever. There was just so many cool things that, I mean, most people just didn't even comprehend could happen. So that's why this was a must-have, and I still feel like it is. Until the Steam Deck can allow people to put Windows on their device in a meaningful way, the Ally is still my most recommended device for anybody. And until something beats that, I probably won't be purchasing it, or, you know, I'm not in any position here to just be purchasing these devices every single day. And that's not to say that dictates whether or not I buy one. I'm willing to stick my neck out if I feel like something is worth your guys' attention, and unfortunately nothing really has. Steam Deck OLED is still the same Steam Deck. If you already have one, don't upgrade. The battery life, there's multiple ways to get around that without purchasing another $500 device, you know. I know some of you guys have incomes that will allow that, and I'm not saying that my opinion here should dictate your decisions, but there are other people who want to make a good choice with their money, and if you already have a Steam Deck, don't get the Steam Deck OLED. Unless you're going to be able to sell yours for a reasonable price and you think that that upgrade is definitely worth it for you, then go for it. If you're looking for a handheld, you haven't already purchased one, I think the Ally is crusher. I'm not sponsored by them, it's just a really good device that has been holding up really, really well, in my opinion. I use this every single day. I try to clean it every other day so it doesn't yellow or anything. I know some people have pretty nasty fingers, but yeah, I hope you guys can appreciate that I'm just trying to keep it real with you. Not trying to feed you anything you don't want to see. I'm just trying to make stuff for the everyday average viewer, just like myself. But 2024 is looking really bright with the new chipset coming out. Should give us a lot more, just an increase in performance. And same with the Switch 2, Switch Pro, whatever the hell they're going to call it. I'm excited. I'm very interested to see what they do with their shop system. If they're going to continue to allow you to kind of bring your games over from the first Switch, or if they're going to make us purchase it again. I feel like that'd be such a fumble, but we'll just have to see. I've been in talks with some other YouTubers about potentially doing a podcast, stuff like that. If that'd be something you guys are interested in, let me know, because I do have a lot of thoughts on this kind of stuff. I just don't know how to get it out to you guys in a meaningful way that will not come off as clickbaity or whatever. If I want to talk about the Switch and we haven't even heard any news about it, I don't want to make a video with a thumbnail saying the new Switch is going to be awesome. We haven't heard a thing. I mean, preview units in little gray boxes have been sent out to like game developers months ago, but no one's really talking about that. So we'll just have to see how things go. I know this is a lot longer of a video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the content, enjoyed the gameplay footage. If you think I'm annoying, you can just turn it down or mute it, but it's been a really good year so far. I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I did, and I hope you can look forward to the rest of a good week. We'll let this round out and call it a day. Can't even tell if I'm doing good. Wow, we are... Actually, that wasn't my deaths, it's my latencies. Well, there it is. Let's pull this out here. Check this out. Wow. Perfect. Well, I hope you guys had a very enjoyable time here. Have a good weekend. Peace out.